Hey, it's Danny Elliott. Welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining me today. I'm in the RV today. I just did this whole video. I'm going to do it again now, but it's my first birthday on YouTube. It's an exciting day. It's really not an exciting day. It's very rainy and dreary out here in the Northeast right now. But I wanted to talk to you today because it's Columbus Day. Well, the day formerly known as Columbus Day, right? I wanted to talk to you about this on my YouTube birthday on Columbus Day because I am I think I'm this whole channel is going to change now because I don't really care about buying US housing. I don't think you guys really care about buying US housing. I know some of you guys have been waiting and like pining for your opportunity to buy a home finally. I'm just going to tell you right now, this is not the time. This is not the time for investors. This is not the time for first time buyers, millennials, zoomers. This is not the time, guys. This is the time to sit on the beach. This is the time to reflect on how am I going to, leverage the assets I already have and, try to make a new business, try to start, making money online, try to get out of my 9 to 5, try to take my US dollars and go somewhere else in the world where I can 5x, 6x my purchasing power. And and that's what I'm going to do. That's where I'm going. I'm leaving. I'm going to Latin America. I'm going to Ecuador. I'm going to live on the coast. I'm going to have a nice apartment on the third floor with a view of the Pacific Ocean. And I'm just going to be hanging out on the beach, but I'm going to make some videos for you guys. I'm going to tell you about my experience taking my cash flow from my US real estate and living somewhere else, somewhere better, somewhere where I'm appreciated for the value that I bring. By the way, if you're not subscribed, 99% of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed. So if you are logged in, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. But I'm going to be doing more, real estate and investing and business videos from a travel perspective, from an international perspective, from, how can we find value in assets abroad, and what's going on in Ecuador, what's going on in some of these Latin American countries. I'm going to talk to you guys. I just met some guys from El Salvador the other day. They came and bought some of my stuff. I'm selling all my stuff. These guys were saying, why are you going to Ecuador? And why don't you go to El Salvador? So I looked up El Salvador and I was shocked to find out that El Salvador is now 15 years after being the most dangerous country in Latin America. It is now the safest country in Latin America. So really, things in Latin America are changing and very quickly. Like there's a lot of really great investment opportunities in Latin America. And by the way, the women there are beautiful. Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela. I mean, maybe I don't want to live in Venezuela, but the Venezuelan women are absolutely unbelievable. They're warm, they're traditional, they have feminine hobbies, they have feminine habits, they do feminine things. They're not like masculine tough guys with hair that's blue and tattoos, and they chain smoke and they drink, and they're going to tell you what to do. I think that Latin America is such a great opportunity. And it's not just passport bros. There's a lot of passport ladies too. There's women that want to take their passive income. There's women that have inherited a house that cash flows. It's free and clear. They're just going to take passive income and leave, or they have their retirement income, their pension, their social security check. They could take that. They could take a couple $1,000 and go live a rich life outside of the United States, And, my thing is, since I'm an educated man. I have a bachelor's degree. I'm allowed to take my college degree from my university where I went, where I graduated back in 2011. I could take this college degree and I could actually be eligible to get a passport in as little as 3 years. And I don't even have to invest any money. I don't have to bring a retirement pension, or I don't have to bring passive income. I don't have to buy Teakwood stocks. I don't have to put money in real estate or put a bank deposit of like, $50,000 or $30,000 like in the Philippines. I don't have to do any of that. I just basically show up with my degree, and I show them, they love their background checks in Latin America. So I show them my Florida background check, my FBI background check. I show them that I got one of these little blue books, and it, like I said, in 3 years I can be a citizen of Ecuador, and then I can take this thing and throw it back, get rid of the damn thing, give it back to the U.S. embassy, and say, "Here's $2,500. I don't want to be married to your IRS anymore. I don't like you. Go away. Don't ever touch me again. Leave me alone. We're divorced. It's over." That's what I want to do. So I want you guys to join me as I travel to Latin America and I show you what it's like to live there and invest in real estate and buy businesses and look for hidden value in some of these emerging markets along the coast of the Pacific Ocean, the beautiful real estate opportunities, these places where you could build a new apartment building, you could build a condo development, you can find a distressed deal. I'm ready to buy those deals. There's a lot of deals on like farmland, useful land where you can grow fruits and vegetables, or you can have a coffee farm. I'm interested in opportunities like this, useful land with a water source. These are great deals. So I'm going to look for those deals, and I'm going to show you guys how I did it, how I got in relatively easily with just a college degree and a US passport and a couple of clean background checks from the United States, and how easy it would be to 5x your lifestyle simply by leaving America. And you don't have to put up with any of this crap. You don't have to deal with the US Congress and the Fed, trying to debase your money and make you progressively poorer and poorer as time goes by. You don't have to deal with flat real wages or a job market that's on a razor edge of completely collapsing. You don't have to deal with political violence, 300 mass shootings in the first 8 months of 2025. You don't have to deal with, snipers on rooftops with rifles aimed at you because they disagree with your political views. You don't have to deal with people making death threats against guys on YouTube. Like, we don't have to deal with this crap. We can just leave the United States, live a peaceful life, be in a community that's warm and friendly and welcoming, walk down a street where people actually say hola. They're nice, they're friendly, they look at you in the eye, and they smile at you. I mean, when was the last time you walked down a sidewalk in the United States and someone actually made eye contact and smiled? Just think about it, guys. I mean, every time I see people out, they're like, they don't want to. Nobody wants to talk to anybody. Everybody seems to just be doing their own thing, and they don't care about you. And I don't like the vibe here anymore. I'm kind of like, I'm over the whole thing. And if the boomers want to just pretend like they're still living in the 1950s, and this is like, Leave It to Beaver, or you pick your 60s sitcom. I mean, we're not living in that place anymore, guys. The birth rate's collapsing. The U.S. is going down, and we're continuing to just print off money and just give it to guys like Zelensky and Netanyahu, and red or blue, they don't care about you. If you're a middle class person, you're a target. You're having money stolen from you from all directions. You got real estate taxes, all-time high gas, utility prices, water and sewer bills. You got speed cameras all up and down the street with, aimed at you, shooting $100 tickets into your mailbox. I mean, this is crazy, guys. This is not the place where I grew up back in the day as a millennial. So I'm tired of it, and I'm going to go move to a nicer, warmer location. And I hope you guys will join me. I hope you guys will stick with me. And, thank you for being here on my 1-year birthday here on YouTube. And happy Columbus Day to you. Those of you who are Italians, I know you guys love this holiday. So, and I love the celebrations too. But the biggest celebration in the United States now is Halloween. Nobody likes Columbus Day. Nobody likes Thanksgiving, and nobody really likes Christmas anymore. In Latin America, people love Christmas. People love, they're Catholic. There's no war on Christmas going on in Latin America. People love Jesus. They love they post Bible verses on their Facebook pages and stuff like that. I don't get offended by stuff like that. I think it's great that people have faith, that people believe in God, and that people, um, still celebrate these traditional holidays. And I don't have a problem with that. I like that, and I'm a Catholic guy. I'm not ultra religious, but I do believe in God. And I think that God is not here anymore in the United States. I think God has left the building. He lives elsewhere, and I think he's still alive in Latin America. So I'm going to go down there and hang out. And I think that the Ecuadorians are warm, traditional folks, and they love their country, they love their culture, and they're welcoming to people from all around the world. Ecuador is one of the most welcoming countries. Pretty easy to get in, no matter where you're from. And as long as you assimilate to their culture, you learn their language, you attend their festivals, you try to, become part of the community. You don't just like, live in your little neighborhood with all of the other people who look like you and, kind of keep to yourselves. Like that's what America's become. It's like a more warm sense of community down there. Anyway, I went on probably too long about that, but you guys kind of catch my drift. You see where I'm going here, but I'm going to Monte, Ecuador, along the coast of Manabí. Thanks for joining me today in this video. Appreciate you watching. And, if you got a comment on anything I said, please make sure you, type it up and leave it down below. Let me know what you think about it, good or bad. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down button. And please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell if you want to see the next video. And I appreciate you watching today. I'm Danny Elliott.